Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of an Online Business Made Easy podcast. Today, we have an awesome guest, Lauren Penny. Lauren is an international events expert who has worked across the globe from Qatar, London, and Australia on international major events for 19 years. She has worked with large events such as FIFA World Cup, Commonwealth Games, London Olympics, Australian Tennis Grand Slam, G20 Leaders Summit, and many more. Plus, she has planned, created, executed business events such as seminars, VIP speaker appearances, networking functions, information nights to grow businesses. Those are simply extraordinary credentials, Lauren. Welcome to the Online Business Made Easy podcast.
Thank you so much for having me here, Prathamesh, and to be here with your community.
We are thrilled to have here. And as you can see from Lauren's introduction, she's an expert at conducting events. But Lauren, when we speak about events, there is some, big extravagant things that cost a lot of money, requires a lot of tech. And so we have, a lot of misconceptions about the event. So I would like to, tell us what exactly are events and how, businesses can leverage them.
Absolutely, and I think that's a beautiful question, Prathamesh, and that's the thing. I am here to say that you don't, like, everyone thinks of an Olympic Games as an event. So there's so many hesitancy about hosting an event in your business, and after all, an event is all about a channel to your market and to be able to utilize and provide value at once to a multiple number of customers. But because an Olympics, which is such a big event in the world, everyone's like, I don't have the time, I don't have the budget, I don't have the skill set to be able to organize events in my business. Therefore, I'm just not going to do it. But I'm here to say that actually you can run an event in your business literally today. And I know that you might be thinking, is that possible? But an event is all about sharing value. And I pretty much can guarantee that all of yourself and your community would have a smartphone.
Right.
And with that smartphone and using platforms like Facebook, you can literally be going live in an event to share value. Now, I know the amount of work that does take to build a large-scale event, as you mentioned, a number of the events that I have worked on. But particularly in the small and the medium-sized market, and that's where our customers are also. I'm here to say that you can host events literally today with your smartphone to then share value and really draw your customers to you and your business.
That sounds really great. So what type of events you will suggest to my audience?
Perfect. Well, here's the thing. It's all about providing value. And so when you're providing value, when you're helping solve a problem for your customers, you're going to draw them closer to you. So there's different size of events that you could literally be hosting, but certainly you can literally be using your smartphone with Facebook and go live in a Facebook Live, or create an event with your smartphone to say that I'm going to have an event and I'm going to talk about SEO or anything that you think that there's a problem to solve with your customers. So I'm going to go live at 6 p.m. tonight, and people will receive that notification. That's the power of Facebook. All that technology is already done for you. You don't have to have that headache, and your audience are going to know that you're going to come live and you can share value. And that's the thing. You want to be solving a problem for your audience. And so when you are looking at an event, 3 key things. You want to demonstrate your expertise. You want to solve a problem.
Right.
And this can be a short tip, or it could be a solving a problem like A to B. So a tip could be in a Facebook Live, or a solution could be solve a problem from A to B, which could be a workshop, or you could be hosting like a retreat or a conference or a seminar, which really goes into a lot more challenging problem, as you know, and that could be more of an A to Z solution. And that's the
Right.
thing. So when you can host an event, you are then hosting one event and then sharing value to multiple people. So, for example, I've got a client that I'm currently working with, and Prathamesh, she's having the same conversation with 20 people.
Okay.
And so by chatting together, we've been able to now construct an event so that she can now say the conversation once, which maximizes her time, or i.e. also her
Correct.
profit. And she can share that information with 20 prospects in the room, whether it's virtual or whether it's face-to-face. So there's the leverage about hosting events in your business, because you're demonstrating your expertise, you're solving a problem, and you're providing value to many.
Correct. That's true. And I mean, the events are part of the marketing, right?
100%.
Whatever whole marketing campaign that you have, event should be and is a part of your whole lead generation and whatever you call it, business, brand awareness, or whatever it may be. It's a part of marketing.
That's right.
So-
That's right. So events is part of the marketing umbrella. And everybody, if you're in business, you're in marketing.
Right.
Okay, so you always want to be presenting your brand, presenting your expertise, and in a way to meet with your prospects and your community. So I'm gonna step through, Prathamesh, if it's all right with you. I'll spend a little bit of time around the core principles around marketing,
Yes.
and then where the event element can fit into this.
Right.
So for the first thing, when you're looking at your marketing, you really want to know who you're targeting.
Right. Correct.
So are you targeting the corporate? Are you targeting a small business owner? Are you targeting doctors? So by understanding who they are, the first thing, you're going to know what sort of marketing message and some other steps in the marketing approach happen. So firstly, know who you're targeting. And I know
Correct.
it can be really, Prathamesh, I know that so many people say, oh, well, I want to help everybody. I build websites.
Correct.
Everyone needs a website, right?
Right.
But when you are serving everybody, when you're doing a marketing message, it's just going to be a blanket message, and it's not going to pull anyone to you.
Correct.
Whereas if you know who you're targeting, you're going to speak directly to them.
Right.
And so that leads me into your marketing message. So
Correct.
the second point is your marketing message. So once you know who they are, now, well, what problem do they have? What keeps them up at night?
Correct.
Why can't they have a SEO powerful lead generating website? You know, what is the problem that they're at?
Right.
And then by knowing that, you can step through, well, how are you going to solve that problem, and what do they really want? So what's the solution? What do they desire?
Correct.
And here it's trying to not be so technical in our terminology. And I know I also can become very technical when I talk about events.
Right.
But it's also about, well, what does our customers want? They want sales. They want to lead generation. They want to nurture their customers. They want to boost sales. They want to make more money, and they want to do this with less time.
Correct.
So by talking to the marketing message, what's their problem and where do they want to go to? So if you're building websites that have shopping carts and so on, well, what is the problem and what is the solution that they actually want?
Correct. So
and then
basically, you need to do some kind of research, know your audience. That's the key part of designing your marketing strategy.
Absolutely. You have to know who it is that you serve and what is their problems. How come they can't solve this problem? How come they can't do it themselves? Or is it because of the speed? Is it because of the format? What are the problems that they have and what are they desiring? You do need to do your research and just by spending some time, in Google, asking your current customers, asking some clients around you, people will always come to the forefront and help you.
Right.
If you are asking, look, I really want to understand some of the problems that you're facing so I can really help with building the business that I am, because I'm so passionate about helping people build websites or online businesses and so on. So people are really warm and welcoming when you do
Right.
ask them for those sort of points. And also with the marketing message, it brings me to this point in that you want to be able to know where your customer is at in the journey of awareness with you.
Right.
So what that means is, I'm sure you've heard about cold, warm, and hot traffic.
Right.
So if you are going to a cold market, they might not even know that they have a problem.
True.
And they don't know you. They don't know the wealth of knowledge that you can provide them.
Correct.
So when you go direct in for a sale, they're just like, no, I don't have a problem. I don't need a new website.
Correct.
So you need to understand where the customer is with the awareness journey of working with you. So
Correct.
that's where sometimes cold calling is quite challenging.
Right.
Because one, they might not have a problem, or they might not be aware that they have a problem.
Correct.
So it's much easier just to say no.
Right.
Whereas when people are starting to move from unaware, problem, now they're looking for a solution. They know they've got a problem and they want to now look for a solution. That's where you can now start talking about, well, what is the solution you provide? What is the product that you provide them? And then when you think about your clients that already work with you, they already know, like, and trust you, it's much easier to sell to this group of people than the cold market.
Absolutely.
So that's where your marketing message, again, is important to know when you're pitching and where your audience is. It's like, Prathamesh, it's like going to a restaurant and you see a stranger and you see your best friend. Now, would you go up to a stranger and greet them in the same way that you would with your best friend?
Absolutely not.
No. So that's the same with your marketing message and understanding where the customer is in the awareness journey with you.
Right.
And so that helps. That brings us then into looking at also then your channel. So how are you connecting with your audience and your prospects?
Correct.
So there is, there's so many channels out there. Clubhouse, TikTok, LinkedIn, Twitter, you name it. There's so many things that are out there. Facebook pages, Facebook groups, emails, networking, cold calling. There's so many opportunities, but we only have 24 hours in a day, don't we?
Right.
And hopefully, Prathamesh, we are having some hours to sleep.
Absolutely. And you need to give focused attention to some channels where your audience is. You need to build relationships. You cannot just, go on to multiple Facebook groups, and put your service directly. It's really a crude way of doing marketing. It's not really relationship building. It's like, this is my offer and you are expecting strangers to buy from you. That's not going to happen.
That's right. It's like going up to that stranger in the restaurant and saying, hey, come to my house for dinner tomorrow night, 6:00. They're going to be like, I don't know who you are. I'm not coming to your house for dinner. It's the same thing when you're going into a Facebook group and going, hey, here's my offer. Why aren't you buying?
Yeah.
They don't know you. They don't know your background and the knowledge that you can provide. So it's all about warming up your community, your list. And building consistency as well. So Facebook groups is one of the methods, and it's a very strong method. I understand at the moment that Facebook is putting in a lot of capital into the strength of Facebook groups. And so you can be utilizing Facebook groups, either your own Facebook group, where you are then drawing people in and inviting people into your community, because they're going to move along that awareness journey that I mentioned before, as well as going into other Facebook groups, but not in a, hey, just place the offer. What you can be doing there is having conversational marketing. Provide value, share articles, provide tips. If somebody is asking, I've got a problem with SEO, then you might be able to comment, help them first with the value. Give them a solution. I'm not saying give them everything. help them with something which is showing
Correct.
your expertise.
Correct.
And then you can take that into offline and going into a private message. And then you can ask them, look, if you would like some help with this, I would happy to go on a call and talk with how we could help you.
Correct.
And that's the way then you can start introducing your offer, because you've met them at the right area of awareness. They had a problem.
Correct.
They don't know the solution yet. You've come in with the solution, and then you're taking them along that journey.
Correct.
To then the ultimate offer to work with you. So that's a beautiful way. And I think when you are looking at, when your community are looking at the different channels, and I think this is where people get really caught up with, because you want to do everything.
True.
But by doing everything, you're a master. It's not going to happen. It's not going to come through to the levels that you want.
Correct.
So what I recommend is just pick 3.
Correct.
Pick 3 channels and do them really well.
Right.
Generate the community, nurture your community, give them value, show up consistently, demonstrate your expertise, do Facebook Lives and all the different methodologies. Once those 3 mechanisms are working well and you are generating a really strong point of revenue, then you can start introducing other channels.
Correct.
But for now, just pick 3.
Correct.
And, that can be, your email list. It could be your Facebook group. It could be other people's Facebook groups. It could be video marketing, YouTube, just pick 3.
Correct.
That is also obviously a channel that your community are in. It's like going to a cafe.
Correct.
You meet them in that channel. If they're not on TikTok, don't do TikTok.
Correct.
Okay? I don't use TikTok. Okay? I'm not going to venture into that market. It's not part of my strategy right now.
Correct.
So not going to spend my time and my energy. I'm going to concentrate on the 3 active campaigns and channels where I know my market is.
Right. Because you need to be consistently doing all this kind of marketing, and if you are doing it all over the place, you don't have time to provide value on those channels. Sufficient time to provide value, and then what you are doing is just you are putting cold offer and something like on those lines.
That's right. That's 100% right. And people become familiar with you. I'm present in a number of other Facebook groups, and I'm building relationships. People are becoming to know the value that I provide. I'm helping them with a solution, and then that's then drawing them into my community, whether it's joining my email list, whether it's looking at my guides or joining in Facebook groups. And you've said the number one thing: consistency.
Correct.
So if you are doing, if you're emailing your list with a video, or emailing your list with an email and giving them value, you want to be doing that consistently. There's no point doing it, every day for a week and then not doing anything for another 3 months.
Right.
It's building the consistency because we want to be top of mind.
Correct.
So there's a saying, I think it's like 3% of your audience are ready to buy now when they see an offer. Then there's like 30% that will stay within your community and they will buy someday.
Correct.
So they're either going to buy from you or they're going to buy from your competitor.
Correct.
So you want to keep that pool of people, keep nurturing them, giving them value, giving them tips, giving them new, expertise and knowledge, so that when they are ready to buy, when the offer is suited to them,
correct,
there's more likelihood that then they will then generate and become and convert to a customer.
Correct. It's like consistency is boring, but it rewards.
100% right. I love that quote. That's excellent. I love that. 100% right. And that's also, because you with the same targeting market, same audience, your message, and then the same channel. And then that brings us to the fourth, which is then your offer.
Correct.
So you want to be able to provide different offers to draw them towards you as well. And
Correct.
part of that offer is a lead generating event.
Right.
So it can be like a Facebook Live. If you just have your own personal page and you know some of your customers are on your own personal page, you could do a Facebook Live. You could
Correct.
do a Facebook Live into your group. If you
Right.
have a group, and again, it's consistency. So if it's Friday mornings you go live, it's Friday mornings you go live.
Right. Correct.
And then
Correct.
there's different ways that you can do that. You can have questions and answers. You can provide training. You can have a guest interview. There's different methodologies to keep
Correct.
things flowing. But they're really simple tools that you can do with your smartphone or obviously with your
Right.
laptop,
Correct.
and to generate that value. And really, it's the offer. So when you're talking about an offer and you're doing a tip, here's the thing, Prathamesh. It's about looking at what's something that you can help them with. It's just a small tip, and
Correct.
they will have a win.
Right.
So I don't know. When we're having a chat, Prathamesh, we're talking about, is your website have consistent colouring?
Correct.
So that could just be a small tip, but it's of value.
Right.
And it's showing your expertise. You demonstrate and you're giving value. You're giving first.
Correct.
Before you receive.
I mean, it's not like you have to teach how to build a website completely on the live. Maybe you can just tell from where to get the fonts or which fonts are suitable for a corporate website. So tips are simple and they're helpful.
Exactly right. And then just do one of them, not all of them in the live, just one. Where to find your font, where to purchase your domain, how to ensure that your colors are consistent with the codes, whatever those tips are that you know is providing value. And that can be, a lead magnet, or it could be that Facebook Live that you draw people in.
Correct.
And then over time, that then draws you in to be able to make an offer. And then under an offer, which we all know, that then encompasses, the benefits, the features of the offer, the investment to the customer, the service that they're going to receive. And so that's then the actual offer that you can, which is the sale, of course, to generate those customers. And that's the fourth element.
Right.
So there's the four key things when looking at your marketing. And with hosting an event, the event is then becomes it's one of the channels essentially.
Right.
And the thing that I love about it, and I know that my clients love about it, is because similar to this illustration today, you can either be watching this live or you could be watching this in the replay.
Correct.
And so we're maximizing our time, we're providing value, but we're also having the conversation just once rather than 20 times.
Correct. And one point I would like to add here, like we are live on Facebook right now. We are live on YouTube. The same content can be, converted into a transcript, can be converted into a blog post. The audio file can be converted into a podcast. So whatever you are doing, you can repurpose the content, and you can share, cut it, chop it, and then provide the value again to your community. Short
100%.
Bits of information and things like that.
100%. Yeah, all the repurposing. So just by utilizing the event once, you can take out a quote. You can transcribe it, turn into a blog. You can send it as an email. There's so many other opportunities so that you are maximizing your time and boosting the likelihood and producing more profit essentially.
Correct.
And I think that's also some of the things that some of the tips that people can also start to be afraid of is like could be afraid to like send an email if people haven't emailed before, because it's a visibility, it's a bit of fear.
Correct.
And I totally get it. I remember Prathamesh probably about 4 years ago when I returned from one of my overseas events. I came back and I sent out like I'm back in Australia sort of email to all of my network. And it was the first time I sent an email for quite a long time as well. And I remember sitting there pressing refresh once I had sent it, just so I could see, were people reading it? Were they deleting it? Were they unsubscribing? What was happening? Was I getting any comments back? So I know how daunting it can be when you first start out with whether it's an emailing your list regularly or whether it's a Facebook Live. I know how daunting it can be. But now, for example, years later, I'm now sending hundreds of emails per week.
Correct.
And I'm certainly not sitting there refreshing every moment to look at the take up. So that's the thing. You want to be able to start. And so pick your three channels and be consistent and start.
Absolutely. I think those are really great tips, and my community, they should start doing it rather than, procrastinating it and thinking what people will comment on my Facebook Live. Will people send rude messages to my email? Will they unsubscribe? That's people are going to unsubscribe. People are going to, add rude comments to your Facebook Live. That's part and parcel of the game. But other people are willing to buy your offer. Other people are willing to listen to what you are saying.
Yes, that's 100% right. And you want to demonstrate your expertise, then that's going to happen. It's all about becoming visible and being confident. And as you step through that journey, you'll become more and more confident. And the thing with unsubscribes, it will happen. And the thing is, actually, the more there's unsubscribes, it means that the tighter and the more consistent your list is. It means that those people that are in your list do want to be there and they do want to hear from you.
Correct.
It's just now they're going to be part of that 30%. So they will buy, but when will they buy? It could be tomorrow. It could be in 6 months' time. And so you want to be looking at sales rather than the unsubscribe rates.
Right.
And they're the things. So like if you are utilizing, for example, Facebook Live and there's comments, you go in and delete them. You can block them. It's all part of growing your business. And I suppose let's come back to why are you growing your business?
Correct.
What's the purpose? What's your why? What's driving you? Because there are going to be challenges, as we know. Running a business is like the biggest roller coaster of your life.
Correct.
So you know what your why is. You know when you have those challenging times and there might be an unsubscribes or there might be some rude comments. You just simply delete them and you come back to why am I doing this? Because of, and you know what that is.
Correct.
That's going to keep you jumping up out of bed each day, showing up, being consistent, providing value, showing your expertise to your audience.
Correct.
And if you are looking at some of the confidence tips around going live, it's having a look at having a visually appealing background, for example. So I know, Prathamesh, I went on a summit. It was based in the US, and it was like midnight for me because I am in sunny Queensland in Australia. I'm sure you've all noticed that my accent is Australian. And so what happened was I was watching this summit and the background, the gentleman, the curtains were falling down. The lighting wasn't very good. I couldn't really see him on the screen. It was just really hard to be visually engaged with the communication. And so that's what I always encourage you, have a nice background. And when it comes to equipment, you can purchase equipment as you grow in your business.
Correct.
So use your smartphone first, use your laptop. Then as profit comes in, then you might want to invest into ring lights, into microphones. Till then, you could always use like a Rode mic that can go into the smartphone, which is about $80. And just, you don't have to go the whole thing at the very start. Just step it. As you grow in your business. And have that nice visually appealing background so that when people are coming into your email list, and if you're sharing videos like what you've just mentioned, Prathamesh, if you're repurposing and you've now can convert that video now into an email or into a video training, send it out. They can be watching, and there's nice background and there's nice lighting, and you're feeling quite confident.
Correct. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So now, What to do, we have discussed,
Yes.
but what not to do? I mean, what are absolutely nots?
That's a really good question. Thank you for asking. So some things for you to avoid. Number one, if you are going to be going live or doing a guest interview, know your topic, prepare
Okay.
beforehand.
Correct.
So you can simply be writing down some dot points.
Okay.
Have a look at the problem. And there is like a script that you can follow when you are doing a Facebook Live. That probably goes into more detail, but generally you look at a problem, you look at a solution, you look at a case study or an example, and then you look at a call to action. So spend 30 minutes writing down your keywords, what you're going to talk about, your flow, and even put post-it notes.
Right.
Around, so you have cues to look at.
Correct.
And that's going to further boost your confidence. Because otherwise, I know how daunting it is. You start going live, there's a flashing light, it's saying live, and you're like, I don't know what I'm going to say.
I don't know what to speak.
That's right. So do your preparation. Then the next thing that you want to have a look at is testing your technology. So don't leave it up to the last minute that the Facebook is, you know, the right upgrade. For example, when I worked on the Commonwealth Games at the Melbourne Cricket Ground, which was an absolute honour, that was back in 2006, we didn't leave it to chance that the opening ceremony at the Melbourne Cricket Ground that the gates were going to open, that the field of play was going to operate, and that all of the staff and the workforce knew where they were going to be. We ran a test. The same, I ran an event in Brisbane, actually, for our Prime Minister. And we didn't leave it to chance that the venue was suitable for the Prime Minister to attend. We did a test. So it's the same with your technology. So some of my clients, I guide them to how to use Zoom and stream that into your Facebook group, similar to this sort of format as well. Again, you want to do a test. Is Zoom working? Does it link into your Facebook group? And what I can recommend is do a test 3 days prior.
Right.
And if somebody happens to go into your Facebook Live, because I saw that you came up live, you just say, oh, look, I'm just doing a test because, as you know, I'm going live in 3 days and I want to make sure that everything's working. There's nothing wrong with that. And then you can simply delete it. So always do a test to make sure that your equipment's working and the software's working.
Correct.
And I think the last thing is what to avoid: procrastination, hesitation.
Correct.
You do have you've got skill sets to provide, you've got value to give to your customers, and by stepping forward and sharing value, going live, you will build that muscle. Like being a sports person, you're going to build that muscle of being a business operator, a marketer, growing your business, and you will be able to provide that value and grow your community really well. So I also really do strongly encourage to stop procrastinating. If you need guidance, seek out guidance where you need and support, and just start.
Absolutely.
Sharing value, and because you know that by doing that, your community will grow and they're going to definitely benefit, and you can then grow have business growth.
Correct. Absolutely. I think that's really great knowledge you have shared with us. So how can my community, keep in touch with you?
Yes. Okay. Well, I'd absolutely love to stay connected. And if I have provide value and there's some tips there and you'd like to be connected and actually find out some quick ways some tools to be able to go live. I do have a free guide, so I think we're going to share that, Prathamesh, in the here. So you can go to register.branchedout.com/3_ways_smartphone. So that guide is 3 quick steps on how you can provide value to your audience, literally today with your smartphone. And that can just help you. And that's why I'll probably give everyone a challenge. Let's have a look at today. Going live, having a look at a topic. What's a recent conversation that you've had with somebody? You can now share that topic live in your Facebook group or your Facebook page. And then secondly, with the guide, you can also find that also in my group. So I do have a group which is Business Minds, and it's around lead generation, marketing and growth. So I'd love for you to join in our community. I share tips. I go Facebook, I go live with tips, and we run events and workshops and a whole magnitude of things going on. So I'd love to further connect, and if that's been of value, I'd love to connect.
Absolutely. There. And I would like to tell my community that the link to join this Facebook group is on your screen right now. So you can just copy that and, join that group, or it will be in our show notes as well as in the description of our YouTube video. So do join Lauren's group. I'm sure you will get a lot of value from that group.
Beautiful. Thank you so much, Prathamesh. And that's the thing. Oh, go ahead.
Yes, please.
I was just going to say, and that's the thing. Like when we do show up for our community, when we're working through what I've spoken about before, knowing your target marketing, knowing your message, knowing the channel you're going to connect, and being able to make an offer, whether it's a lead generation offer or whether it's a sale offer, depending on the channel, the journey that your audience are with you, you're going to be able to grow your business. And I can say that when you do step up into doing Facebook Lives, imagine conducting your 10th Facebook Live.
Correct.
And you have your audience attending, you have comments to say, thank you so much for the value you've shared. Now, the only way we can get to that 10th is by starting with our first.
Correct.
And it's just by that, because I know you're going to be a different entrepreneur in 6 months' time by simply starting today and developing that muscle, providing value. You're going to be a different entrepreneur in 6 months' time, and that's what we're here for, isn't it?
Right.
It is to literally grow, and that's a beautiful thing about going live and with video as well, and so many different ways you can use video in your marketing as well. It's because I know for myself, Prathamesh, I'm not sure about you, when you go on a Zoom or you're in a meeting with somebody and they still have they don't have their video on and it's just a blank screen. I know myself, when I then say, oh, they've turned on their video, I say, oh, there you are. Because I can now visually see them, and I'm not just using my sensory of my hearing. I'm now using my visionary senses. So it's drawing us closer, just like, replicating as much as you can a face-to-face in-person interaction. And particularly when you want to scale, then definitely going online and becoming visible with video and Facebook Lives and events and so on, that is definitely a tool for you to be able to do so.
Correct. And as a human, we would like to, put a face to a name rather than just a name. Once we associate that name with a face, it's easier to connect.
Exactly. 100%. So you're building a friendship, you're building a likability, you're understanding the skill sets, and that will help in your sales process.
Correct.
100%.
So the biggest takeaway is, start doing it. Don't wait. It's like saying the best time to plant a tree was 10 years ago, and second best time is right now.
That's correct. 100%. Start today. If it's not today, literally start tomorrow. Set up your topic, set up which channel it is, look at what time you can do it in your calendar, and literally go live. Start sharing communication. And if it's not a live, you can create a video.
Correct.
Create a video and and that will still have a lot of the benefits that a Facebook Live can provide anyway. It's just then when you can start, particularly when you're growing a group and growing a community, you can host events through a number of different channels and further connect and provide value.
Correct. I think this was a really great session. You have shared a lot of value with our community, our students, and I'm sure they will start doing Facebook Live. They will start going on Facebook Live or YouTube Live, whatever they are comfortable with. But going live is what matters, and they should do it.
Yeah, absolutely. And it could be a stepping stone, as I said, it could be a stepping stone. Just do videos first. Because you can cut that, you can repurpose that, you can put it into EDMs, and that will grow your confidence in speaking, in providing value, and then that can step it up to the next level of lives. And I suppose I'm talking about Facebook Lives and going online live because the software like that. Facebook will then put your live out to your audience and be able to grow your community. So that's why you really want to be able to utilize the technology to your advantage, really.
Correct. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So thanks, Lauren, for joining this podcast. You have shared a great value. I am thrilled. My students are thrilled, and I really thank you for joining our podcast. And I would like to tell my students who are on live, and if they are going to watch the replay, do join our Facebook group, Online Business Made Easy. The replay of this live session will be available in that group. So do join our group and stay tuned for our next podcast episode. I thank Lauren again for joining us. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Lovely to be here.
Thank you. Thank you.